Hey, what's up, everybody? While I was editing this episode today, our intro got cut off for some reason, and I'm unable to find it. So we apologize if this kind of jumps right into our discussion. Um, but God bless. Happy Easter, everybody.
About knowing the flood,
Super fun episode, by the way.
and I think we were mainly. What did we mainly focus on? It's been a blur of a week. I don't even remember this week.
It's been kind of crazy, but we focused primarily on Noah, how just the wicked and violent the world was,
Oh yeah, I remember.
and how Noah just stayed faithful and how long it took him. That was great. You have anything you want to add to that?
No, we talked about mainly the wickedness of the world and his obedience and how in awe we were of his obedience to build that boat.
Yeah. I forgot to ask this question last week. Can I ask this just real quick?
Sure.
Is the flood what killed the dinosaurs, or what do we think?
I think that's what they believe at, like, if you go to the Ark Encounter, I think they have an exhibit where they talk about that.
Yeah, because
They actually have dinosaurs on the Ark exhibit, so I think they think that like Noah took some dinosaurs with them. I think I am not.
they say alligators are dinosaurs.
I'm
So
not
my
willing to
understanding
debate
was
it.
because everything lived a long time before the flood.
Yeah.
So when things live a long time, they get big. And that's how I think that's their definition of how dinosaurs are believed to be that big because they just live that long. So when you have like a Komodo dragon, back then he lived
You're talking about T-Rex now.
hundreds of years. And
Okay, I can see that. But what if they got babies and they took the babies on the Ark?
that's possible.
Okay.
And then the babies just stayed small.
They took, remember we talked about they took kinds of animals and not species.
Oh,
Yeah.
last week we talked about this. We've got to plan that trip to the Ark. Remember
Yeah,
Hazel said
Hazel's
she was going to
driving us,
drive?
yeah.
Hazel, why don't you tell them what we're doing this week?
So today we're talking about Abraham and Isaac. Their story is kind of like
Awkward.
but also their story. The story of Abraham and Abraham has a lot of stories in his lifetime. Like the section that he has in Genesis. I actually got to flip to it. I forgot I'm in Psalm still.
Father
The
many
sections that he
sons.
has in Genesis is like kind of expansive. He has more chapters in Genesis than Noah did.
More than 10?
I want to say it's like, probably. I think it's a little more than.
I
10.
know it's a lot.
No way he has more than Moses.
Well, Moses has like 2 books, so
Moses
No.
also wrote Genesis and Exodus, didn't he?
I think he did. But we're talking about Abraham and Isaac specifically. But before talking about the story of like including Isaac, I kind of want to go over and talk about with y'all Abraham's story. He started out as Abram, and he comes into the picture after the flood and after the Tower of Babel. He comes in Genesis 12. It's the call of Abram. He's living in it doesn't really say where he was. Actually, just kidding. Haran. He was in Haran. And then they traveled to Canaan. So God called them from their family, from their country, from everywhere that they were comfortable with. And he said, all right, let's go. And being super obedient to the Lord, they listened. Because I don't know how many people would have just packed up everything, not knowing where they're going, and just left. But God called them to leave their home and people to follow him in his direction, and they did so. We're kind of skipping around a little bit because it's a lot. He went through Egypt, and he went with his cousin at first, and then him and his cousin Lot separated, and Lot went his own way. And then there was the covenant. God made a covenant with Abraham. At the time, he was Abram, but he made a covenant with Abram, and Genesis 15:5. The Lord took him outside and he said, look up at the sky and count the stars. If indeed you can count them, so shall your offspring be. And Abram believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. So God promised. Later, we see that he is like exacted the covenant. He asked Abram to bring together different animals, and he performed the covenant. And we see that Abram fell asleep while the Lord walked in between the animals, which established the covenant, but only the Lord his life would have been at stake if he broke the covenant. But the Lord makes a covenant. He's promising that Abram's lineage would be expansive, that he would have a legacy, which is important because in that time, that's kind of like the most important thing is to have, to serve the Lord, especially within their family, to serve the Lord, but also to have, like God said, be fruitful, multiply. That was their mission. Their mission was to be fruitful and multiply. And after leaving and not having a country and a family of your own, they would have wanted that. The problem was that Abraham and Sarai, because that was his wife's name at the time before she became Sarah, they could not have kids. She could not have kids for whatever, maybe health reasons, but it was impossible for them to have children. So this promise that the Lord is giving to Abram is very important to Abram and Sarai because they can't have kids, but they want children. So he's holding on to that. He promises Abram that he and Sarai will have a child, a nation of their descendants, which is what they so desperately want. Abram and Sarai, eventually throughout the years, they become impatient. They're growing impatient with waiting on the Lord. And instead of waiting on God's promise, they take things into their own hands through Hagar, Sarai's female servant. And from that, Hagar has Ishmael, which is a very good example of when we get impatient and take things into our own hands, which may not necessarily be bad, but don't follow God's promise.
Absolutely.
After that, so he doubted God. I think we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was before or after we started recording, but Abram doubted God. He doubted his timing. They both Sarai and Abram doubted God's timing, so they took things into their own hands. And they realized their mistake. They did. And then 14 years after Ishmael was born, Isaac was born, fulfilling God's promise. And after Ishmael was born, there's the covenant of circumcision, and then Abraham becomes Abraham, and Sarah becomes Sarah. Their names change. I want to real quick. So that's kind of like a synopsis of what happened leading up to Isaac's birth. And then I want to read Isaac's birth and then the test that we're going to talk about real quick. So Isaac's birth occurs in Genesis 21. I'll wait a second.
All right.
Starting in verse 1, now the Lord was gracious to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age, at the very time God had promised him. Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him as God commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has brought to me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. And she added, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. And then, so that is the promise fulfilled. This is a real, we can see beforehand in the previous historical accounts in Genesis that God is a promise keeper, but this is just another huge emphasis that what God promises, he will fulfill. It may not be in our desired timing, but he will fulfill the promise that he made. So moving to Genesis 22. It's a little bit of a longer passage. It's 19 verses. But starting in verse 1, sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Then God said, take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told him about. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servant, stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back down to you. Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the 2 of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father Abraham, Father. Yes, my son, Abraham replied. The food and sorry, the fire and wood are here, Isaac said, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the two of them went on together. When they reached the place God had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called down out to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Do not lay a hand on the boy, he said. Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. Abraham looked up, and there in a thicket he saw a ram caught by its horns. He went over and took the ram and sacrificed it as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called that place, the Lord will provide, and to this day it is said, on the mountain of the Lord it will be provided. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time and said, I swear by myself, declares the Lord, that because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed, because you have obeyed me. Then Abraham returned to his servants, and they set off together to Beersheba. And Abraham stayed in Beersheba.
Why, absolute wild story.
It's a roller coaster.
It is. It is just takes you for a loop. I'd be lying if I didn't say, like, probably the older I got, the more I was like, what is Abraham doing? Like, this is your son.
Yeah.
But he just, his faith and his trust in God was just unmatched.
But I mean, think about it. He got direct communication from the Lord.
Yeah.
If you got direct communication from the Lord and he told you something, would you do it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'd like to say I would.
yeah. That's what I was going to say. I'd like to be like, you know what? Yeah. I mean, these are some of the notes that I took from this story that, I thought that it is the ultimate test of faith. The story hinges on God testing Abraham by calling him to offer his only son, whom he loves. That showcased the genuine faith and unconditional obedience. The foreshadowing to me was really cool. The account is seen as a foreshadowing. Couldn't think of the word. A foreshadowing of God offering His only Son, Jesus Christ, so that we could be saved. God's promises, despite the severity of the test, Abraham trusted God is faithful and will fulfill His covenant, even if it requires resurrection. Sacrificial love and obedience. The story emphasizes both Abraham's dedication to God and, to a lesser extent, Isaac's obedience and submitting to his father.
Mm.
And what's cool, actually, I don't know if you're listening, I had Hazel look this up to confirm this when I was researching too. Hebrews 11:17 through 19, it actually states that Abraham believed that if Isaac had died, God was capable of raising him from the dead to fulfill his promise.
So there was so much faith involved in this
Yeah.
entire process.
Yeah.
Wow.
He not only had faith in the Lord to obey, but he had the faith to believe. Like he wasn't necessarily afraid of God and did it. He was going on with this because he knew that God gave me this child. This is a promise. And so he went through with it knowing, well, this is who God promised to me. He can raise him. He can even raise him from the dead. This is Yahweh. He can even raise my son if my son dies.
Yeah, when I was growing up, there was this TV show called The Bible, and it gave I would say, a semi-accurate representation of the stories you hear in the Old Testament and whatnot. And to watch the scene of Abraham and Isaac, and him about to kill Isaac, you really got to read it. But for me, I'm a visual guy.
Was this an animated series?
No, this was a live action.
Okay, I think
series.
I've seen the animated.
I think
one.
it's like the one of remember when he showed us the video of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So getting to see Abraham and his emotion and the way he was about to kill Isaac, it really it really put an image in your mind about what he was actually going through. Because it's one thing to read it, but then actually see a glimpse of what it was like.
Yeah.
It showed that
He was
was
100
wild.
years old. He waited.
Yeah.
That was his only son. He wanted that kid. You read it clear as day. He wanted.
He wanted him so bad.
Yeah. And then he was so obedient and willing to do what God wanted.
Just think, like, you're 100
Yeah.
years old. I think Sarah was a few years younger, but she's I'm sure she also wanted a child just as bad, but then to realize that she can't have children. And I'm sure at some point that they both reconciled with the fact that they can't have children, but then to be given the hope that they could have children, the Lord promising that they could have children, and then for the Lord to be like, and I know this is a really poor, like, summarization of that, but to be like, oh yeah, come sacrifice your son to me.
Yeah, the one that took you decades to have, and there's a good chance you won't have another one. But hey, come sacrifice him.
Give up what I gave you.
Right. Which is just, to me, it's, I'm telling you the story, it's a roller coaster. It is. I mean,
One
what
of
do you
my
thi-
favorite parts about this was the 3-day journey that they went on.
Oh, yeah.
And I have written in my notes here that God gave him 3 days to think about it. Like, they're walking, and this whole time he's like, "How am I gonna do it? Like, am I just gonna like?"
Do you
No, that's terrible.
I don't know if he was thinking about that, but like thinking it over in your head for 3 days.
I'm
like,
sure
hey,
he
I'm about
was.
to
He
kill
probably
my
terrible.
son.
he probably thought of everything.
Like, how can I do this the least painful for him? Or
I mean, it says early the next morning, so imagine. I doubt he slept.
yeah.
What do you think we can learn from Abraham's immediate obedience?
No, we could do it too.
I think the amount of trust that you have to have in someone to know that it'll be okay regardless of what they're asking you is impressive. Because you give me a kernel of hope to something that I've been wanting for years, and then you tell me to give it back up. But at that point, I'm like, me personally, I don't know if it's going to be okay anymore because I love this thing so very much. But to have the trust to know that it will be okay regardless of whether I have this thing or not. I don't like, it's almost like a inhuman level of trust and faith because I can't think of, I'm sure that there are people who have committed that sacrifice today and the amount of respect that I have for people who do. 'Cause I couldn't imagine
Like
it.
I said, I'd like to say that I could do it. That I could, if he had said something even to that magnitude. I mean, that's just, he was gonna do it. I mean, up until that ram, he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
But he said, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering.
Which is just.
And then he did.
Did you guys pick up on the parallel of so when they talked about what they were bringing up the mountain? Abraham brought up some wood. I know he brought up a knife and their camping equipment or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then Isaac brought up the wood. And I was watching, I think Cliff Knetley was talking about it. He talked about how the symbolism of Isaac carrying up the wood is paralleled with Jesus carrying up his cross up the mountain.
Wow.
And we before we recorded, we watched the video of Bryce Crawford talking about it, and I did a little bit of research on it. And was it Moriah,
Yeah.
and Golgotha, where Jesus was crucified, it's about a quarter mile apart from each other. So it's within
Wow.
walking distance,
Wow.
but it's in the same little hill area right there.
Yeah, we don't get an exact location. God just says, take your son to the region of Moriah. So I'm not
Mhm.
sure like exactly, but yeah, that's insane.
That's just the hill of Golgotha, which I think means death.
Yeah, I mean skull,
Yeah.
which is where it wasn't just Jesus there either. It was the two other thieves.
Have you guys ever experienced something like that where you ask for something and you get it and then it's immediately taken away?
I think so. I think something like super silly, like I asked for I don't even remember. I know it's happened, but like I asked for something and then
Like even like a Christmas gift or like, hey mom, I
yeah,
wanna-"
just like
I can't even think right now. I know it's happened to me, but I can't think.
yeah, I can't think of a specific example, but I know it's like it like obviously it was for, I think it was a fair reason because I'm sure like I messed with something, like I messed with a toy or it made noise or I was being ridiculous. But, like they gave it to me and then I was being ridiculous because I was a kid and then they took it back away. It's like I'm sure it was something like reasonable, but it's just I know it's happened, but to like this great a scale, no.
Yeah.
I had a job in college that I got, and it got taken away from me pretty quickly because they were like, "Yeah, you're not cutting it." So
This past week I went and saw I Can Only Imagine 2.
Was it good?
It was so good.
Was it better? Was it as good as the first one?
So
Because the first one made me cry.
I mean I teared up in the second one.
Okay.
but was it as good as the first one?
I think it may be a half a point lower.
Half a point. lower?
In this one they talked about how they came up with the idea of recording Even If by Mercy Me.
Yeah.
And that whole story
I
about
love that song.
The story of that movie is really good.
If you haven't seen the first one, for those listeners out there, you really need to. It's by Mercy Me. They sing the song "I Can Only Imagine," and this movie definitely gives a whole new meaning or concept to that song.
Yeah, and it made me think about when we talked about this story. In the end of Bart, the guy who's the lead singer for Mercy Me, his whole life he grew up with an abusive father, and all he wanted was a relationship with his father to be on good terms. And right at the end, when his father was about to die, and they finally started having a good relationship, and then he found out his dad had cancer. So he finally got what he wanted, a good relationship with his father, and he only got a limited amount of time with it.
Before it was taken away.
Right, yeah. And it's such a heartbreaking story. And they allude to it even more in the second one. Because he's a father, and now he's got a son that he's got to try to get over his childhood trauma with. But it's a really heartbreaking story.
You okay, Hazel? Yeah, it is.
No, I'm not okay.
That and
Oh my gosh.
that and God's Not Dead.
Yeah.
Are just
I saw that movie like a long time ago. I don't remember much of it.
it's heartbreaking because the dude. It's the professor, right?
Oh my gosh. Wait, no, I think it's like he accepts Christ
And
and then he gets hit by a car.
Yep. Same kind of the same.
I'm sorry,
concept.
spoiler alert, but I think it's been out for like over a decade.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of the same concept, is it not?
Yeah, so like I think he got hit by a car, and then he met up with a pastor or something that was right there, and ended up giving his life to Christ right there,
And
right
then-
before he died.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it
talk
was.
about a roller coaster, man.
Yeah.
In this one though, in the new one, his son is a diabetic,
Oh my gosh.
type 1 diabetic.
Oh my gosh.
So he's got to do the insulin every day and check his levels and stuff. And he takes his son with him on tour. And consistently through the movie, he's checking up on his son. Because now he's like a teenager, and now he's like, I can do it by myself. Like, I don't need you to be on me about checking my levels. Every day I can kind of do it myself. And, I mean, a few days go by, and he's not checking up on himself. He's not checking his levels. He's not taking his insulin. And he just falls off a ladder
Oh my gosh.
and ends up in a hospital. And I mean, he thinks his son's dead. Like, I mean, he just lost his father, and now he's about to lose his son.
Don't. Hazel's already going through it. I'm getting ready.
That
to
Sorry.
That movie's so sad because there's this guy named Tim Timmons who goes on tour with Mercy Me in this movie, and I had no idea who Tim Timmons was, and in the movie he co-writes Even If with Mercy Me, and he was I think he was a Afghan veteran, and he finds out he has cancer, and the doctors give him like maybe 5 years to live. And in the movie, his wife is pregnant while they're on tour.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I mean, he's going through all this. He ends up leaving the tour early because he got super sick. And he ends up getting released from the hospital to make it to Mercy Me's last show on the tour at Red Rock Amphitheater in Colorado, and they sing for the first time, even if, while he's in the crowd.
I feel like I need to read some of the chorus just to impact. If anyone hasn't, if you haven't listened to this, I don't know where you've been. You must be under a rock. I'm sorry.
I need to take Hazel to see this movie.
I know you're able, and I know you can save through the fire with your mighty hand. But even if you don't, my hope is in you alone.
Mm-hmm.
They say it only takes a little faith to move a mountain. Well, good thing a little faith is all I have right now. But God, when you choose to leave mountains unmovable, oh, give me the strength to be able to sing, "It is well with my soul."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got chills, man. Not okay.
But like I said, they gave Tim Timmons 5 years to live, and he's still alive. And he's like 50 now.
Praise the
Yay!
Lord. Praise the Lord.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
I feel better now. Is the son still alive?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He actually is an artist by himself.
What's his name?
That's a fantastic question.
I can look. It's okay. We don't have to look it up right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of songs, there's one that I wanted to talk about. It's actually based on this story. It's called Isaac. It's by Madeline Ray. Her verse 1. I'll read verse 1 and then I'll read the chorus. I won't withhold from you a thing, and you know it. Perhaps that's why you've asked of me what's most important. Was it to see how far I'd go, or do you have more in store for me to bring you glory? Even when you tell me to lay my Isaac on the altar, you'll find that I don't love the promise more than you. Even though I believe that you'll provide a ram, who am I as a man not to trust you?
Yeah. You know,
Y'all got me too jerking.
Yeah, I'm going through it.
I hate to bring a parallel to it, but do you remember in The Walking Dead when
Such a great show.
when Negan makes his first appearance and he kills Abraham and he kills Glenn, and
You put me through it, man.
and he's about to make Rick cut off Carl's arm. Do you remember this?
Yep.
And he stops him right before it
Sounds
happens.
so sad.
Just
What's the parallel there? I'm confused. I
Well,
haven't seen The Walking
so,
Dead.
I mean, he tells Rick, you need to cut off your kid's arm or I'm going to kill everybody else here. And
Why?
Rick's like, no.
Negan was pretty messed up.
He was like, no, I don't want to do it. Because Rick killed a lot of his people.
Okay.
Out of fear. 'Cause, I don't know. There's a lot of context.
But why
It's
cut
a
the
psy-
kid's arm off?
It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah, it's a psychological thing where he wants to make him submit. He wants to make him work for him, kind of thing, where he goes out and gets materials for him, so they don't have to go out.
But what did the kid's arm do to him?
But
It's
he realizes, because Rick's the leader of the group,
Okay.
and he knows that Carl is his son, so the only way to get to him is through his son.
Okay.
So he makes Rick. He draws a line on the kid's arm like this. He goes like, "You either cut your kid's arm off, or I'm going to kill everybody else here, and then your son." So you can watch him die, and then you. It's
pretty messed up.
It's horrible.
Should I watch it?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should.
yeah.
Yeah, Pierce and I
Oh,
were
it's
talking.
messed up. You should watch it. Thanks.
Pierce and I were talking this last weekend. It might be the greatest show of all time.
This doesn't matter, but what's it rated?
Definitely
TVMA
I
or
wouldn't
something?
say R.
Probably.
I don't know why I asked, because I'm like an adult.
But as Rick is about to, he's crying, and he finally gives in. He's about to cut his arm, and then Negan stops him right before it happens. And that, I hate to do it, but it kind of reminded me of Abraham and Isaac.
Yeah.
He
I'm with you on that
Stopped
one.
him right there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I don't know why my mic is like just not wanting to stay in front of me today.
So what was y'all's thought, your initial thought when you first read about the test with Isaac?
I don't know that I would be able to do it. I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. Like, I don't have a kid, but I have a dog, and I don't know if I can do that to my dog.
I actually thought about that similarly too. Like I don't think I could.
I don't know.
It's either. Sorry.
Are we boring?
No, I'm going through it over here. Sorry, it is easy for me to say that I would, like we've been saying, but I really, at the end of the day, don't think I could. I mean, that's you're telling me if I waited, I'm 100 years old, I finally get to have a kid, and you're wanting me to take this kid away, knowing I probably won't be able to have another one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could.
Mm.
I think the obedience and the faith is just unbelievable. I mean, because when you think about it, we know about resurrection. We know Jesus Christ rose. Abraham, this is thousands of years before that.
Yeah, there wasn't really any concept of resurrection
Yeah,
then.
he didn't know anything about it at all. He knew nothing. Elevation wasn't up there singing, "Hey, dry bones come alive." Like,
Well, yeah, even like nothing like that with Elijah had happened yet
right.
either.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, to me, it's the fact that he even was like, yeah, okay, God can do it. He's like, he has full faith and trust in God.
Mm.
And then Isaac too. Isaac, man's 100, Isaac's younger.
Yeah.
He could have got away. Isaac's like, you know what? All right.
it's speculated that Isaac was probably around late teens to early 20s too. So he's probably around 18.
Very physically fit, I'm sure.
Well, that, but also very aware.
Yeah.
So he like the fact that he waited until they were climbing the mountain. So this is about 2 days, probably 2 days of the journey. Because if it's a 3-day journey, actually no, this is the third day because they're climbing up the mountain at this point. 3 days have gone by, and I'm sure he might have asked beforehand, but all that we have record of Isaac asking, the only time that we have record of Isaac asking, "Hey, where's the sacrifice? Where is it?"
That makes it even
Awkward.
That kind of, I mean, I wouldn't even be able to imagine. Like, you're getting on the third day, you're finally getting over the fact, like, okay, I guess I'm doing this, and then he starts asking questions like that,
Oh my god!
and you're like, this is my son, like he's.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right?
But then he says,
How do you answer that?
but then he says, God Himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering.
Yeah.
And he did.
He did both times. He provided Isaac, right? Which at the time was,
As the living
yeah.
sacrifice, yeah.
and then he provided the ram later on.
A ram in a bush. Rams aren't easy to get either. Those things, I mean.
Do you ever think Isaac caught on, like before he realized what was going on? Do you think
Yeah.
you think the thought ever ran through his head, like?
I think it did because
Yeah.
you're building the altar and there's still no animal. There's still no direction of, hey, go look around the mountain, go look for anything. So I can understand why you don't take an animal with you on the 3-day journey. They rot, they get stinky. You don't want to carry around a dead body for that long. You don't want to carry around a dead body, period. So I can understand that the
I
third.
mean, I don't know about that, but
I wouldn't want to carry around a dead body.
yeah.
So I can understand why it took like until the third day for Isaac to be like, hey, where's the sacrifice? Because now they're going up the mountain. It probably would have been a lot easier to find an animal to sacrifice before you go up the mountain. Because when you're on the mountain, you're having to deal with all the rocks. Like they don't have trail. I doubt they had the trails that we have now, like more flat terrain, or I don't know.
Yeah, rams, from what I understand too, they love like rocky terrain, high elevation. So, it's not like there's an abundance of them that you could just go willingly get. I feel like that'd be a pretty hard hunt to go get one, especially when, I don't know if they had bows back then.
Well,
but
the only weapon that we
spears.
have record that was the knife.
Yeah, and I mean, chasing a ram through rocky terrain, not gonna be pretty easy. So, God provides, man.
See, I'm sure he did catch on, which is kind of sad. Like, I wonder if he did ask more questions, or I wonder if he just was quiet.
On the way up, I'd be like, I'm out.
Hey, so what's going on?
Where's that lamb at?
This dude crazy.
What happened? What was my dad doing? What's
Yeah,
the dog doing?
yeah. What's the dog doing?
What do y'all think is a sacrifice?
A sacrifice or a living sacrifice?
Just by definition, what's a sacrifice?
To me, a sacrifice is like something that it kind of goes, you're willing to put. I was gonna say you're willing to put something before yourself, which is in a way a sacrifice. Like you're willing to sacrifice your time to go. Like if you needed help, I would sacrifice what I'm doing to come and help you. I'm sacrificing my time, right? But I feel like in this, it's like, God, I think you are the most high, most important thing in my life. So I want to give the best thing I own, the best thing I can give you. I want to give it to you, Lord, because you are worthy, and I am faithful. And I think that's what this means.
What do you think?
Man, sacrifice to me is just a form of way to kind of take the load off. Like, I'm gonna kill this cow so I don't have to die, kind of thing. Like, I think they did it during the 10 plagues, if I'm not mistaken. Then they kill. I mean, they did it all the time. But just
Yeah,
as an
the
example.
10 plagues, it was a lamb that they killed
blood.
and they put over the door. So it's like a thing of value. I think
Yeah.
that either you have value or say like we have Isaac here. Abraham valued Isaac immensely. He loved Isaac immensely. So I feel like a sacrifice would be something that holds incredible value because it's not a light word. You don't just put it down. Like it's something of intense value that you're laying aside despite any personal convictions that you might have for something or someone else. So like you're sacrificing your time. You want to go do other things, but someone needs help. Like maybe you have dinner with another friend or you have dinner with your wife, but someone needs help. So you're laying aside that time that is immensely important to go help someone who needs help.
Yeah, I mean that's why I think back then, like their animals, their livestock, that was so much more important back then.
Yeah.
Like that was like their most prized possession. And so to sacrifice, a sheep or a lamb, I think that was so huge. Like we're just sitting here and it's like it was just a lamb, but to them, that's a way of life. That was an income. That was a way to eat.
Yeah.
They didn't have no McDonald's. There wasn't no Big Macs and Burger King, Whoppers back then. So I mean, sacrificing that is huge because you are sacrificing. You're like, God, you are so worthy. Here, accept this offering, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when I think of sacrifice, I think of like somebody dying for somebody in a movie or something.
Yeah.
Like I think of Black Widow dying for Hawkeye on Vormir to get the Soul Stone.
Oh my goodness.
If that's a spoiler, I'm really sorry. It's been like how long has it been?
Is 2019.
So 7 years. Almost a decade. I'm sorry.
So it's like another way you could put it, like the intentional or the intentionality of doing something for somebody despite
Or doing it for the greater good.
right, yeah, despite your personal preference. I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah. No, like I like that and I agree. I think yeah.
I mean, UNC Charlotte. You texted me about that the other day. Gosh, we've had an emotional episode, but one of the most brave, courageous sacrifices I've ever heard of in my life was Riley Howe, the UNCC. There was an active shooter at UNC Charlotte, and he charged the gunman so that his classmates could get out and live. And
Oh my
and they did.
gosh.
Yeah. And so he sacrificed himself so that people could go. That's a sacrifice. And that's a brave sacrifice that not many are willing or capable to be able to make. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love reading about Riley.
Yeah.
That's cool. And they honor him very, very well at UNC Charlotte.
What do you think is something in your life that would be hardest to trust God with?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I hate to admit this, and I'm really trying to work on this. But my time. You guys know me. I have no downtime at any point whatsoever. And that's terrible because I often throw my reflection, my downtime, my meditation to the Lord on the back burner, right?
Mhm.
And it's and I'm weary about, because I love having my, you know this better than anybody. I can't stand to just sit. And I just can't.
No, you do stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I need to start giving my time more so to him. I think that would be, for some reason, that's just so hard for me to trust God with my time
Mm-hmm.
for some reason.
I've talked about this a few times, but just future stuff, like, it's like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And so there's so much uncertainty in the future, and
Mm-hmm.
I trust him. So but I often find it hard to sometimes because I want answers, and it's hard not to get answers when you want them.
Well, we all want that. I mean,
Yeah.
I want, I have things going on right now that I want answers on, and it's like, why, dude, where you at, type thing.
Yeah.
So
For me, it's both like the uncertainty of what's gonna happen. Like I don't know what's gonna happen a year from now, and that kind of makes me nervous. Am I gonna have the things that I need in a year from now to move on to where I'm planning and hoping to go to or do? But also control is my issue.
hey, Pierce, wouldn't it be nice to go back to 19?
Sorry.
You got a lifetime ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could. No, I don't actually. That was COVID. I don't.
I'm overly anxious and I overthink a lot, which is a problem, but it's also kind of something I can't control. Working on it, promise. But
You have gotten a lot better at that, though. That I feel like you know.
it has gotten a lot better, I think, in the past few years. It goes up and down. But mainly control, I think, is my issue because I know I can do things and I know that I know how to do them. Especially some things I know how to know. I know how to do them, but it's like I heard it said somewhere that where you worry the most is where you trust God the least. And
Well said.
I think it hit me because there are so many things that I do worry about. But it's also the constant reminder because I physically can't stop myself from worrying about something. Like I can't shut my brain off because I do worry about a lot of things. But it's recognizing that Matthew 6:26 is kind of like my life verse. Recognizing that God cares for the plants, God cares for the trees, God cares for the birds. Recognizing that God cares for the things that He made, that He just spoke into existence, but that like He cares for them, so why would He suddenly not care about the people He made in His image? Like the birds weren't made in His image, the grass wasn't made in His image, but we were.
Right.
So what makes us, if in our thought process of trust, what would make us insignificant to be cared by the Lord? We're not. So if the birds can be cared for, then we can be cared for. And so it definitely has gotten a lot better. I can't shut my brain off, but I can accept the fact that it's going to be okay. I can still be anxious about it. It's been a struggle of still being anxious or still worrying about something or being uncertain, but knowing that it's going to be okay regardless. Like I can still be nervous and still wonder what's going to happen. I feel I feel like it's still okay to wonder what's going to happen and be nervous and still know that God's in control. So have y'all ever been in a car with somebody and they drive kind of weird, or they drive kind of like they make you nervous, and so you're just sitting there in the passenger seat, like hitting the invisible brake, just like
I'm holding on to the
Yeah.
thing up there.
I feel like sometimes, not that God would be a bad driver, not saying that, but I'm just saying like sometimes that's what it feels like because you can't see where you're going. You can't see the path of where you're going, but you're putting your life, like you got in the car. You obviously trusted this person to a certain degree. Put the seatbelt on. You trust the seatbelt, right?
It's a control thing.
Yeah.
Because you're not
You're
driving.
not in the driver's seat.
Right.
Yeah.
That's this guy right here.
Hey, I'm telling you, my wife, listen, Alana, every ride I ride with, I'm like this. Everything I do is a night ride.
Hey, I'll drive you home.
Because I got my eyes
Every,
closed.
every time, I mean, when we went to Greensboro for the conference, I have it in my notes. Snyder's an okay driver.
I drive very fast.
That matches up with your parking.
Yeah, I drive very, very fast.
Sorry.
Pierce is parking too. We got
He honestly didn't start doing that until you started doing it.
we got in trouble because
Bad influence.
Pierce and I started boxing Hazel in here at the church.
They did. They would park like this behind me. Like I'm right here and they're like this.
So she couldn't get out.
And then I'd have to wait. You know what's even worse? I'd have to wait for them to leave so I could leave.
So we intentionally stay here.
Yeah.
So they left first. They wouldn't let me leave first.
Yeah, well, you don't text us when you get home.
I do too.
No.
I didn't think you texted us last week.
She didn't. I was gonna bring that up.
Oh,
She
wait,
did
let's
not.
check.
Yeah, you
She
did.
When was the last time
said
we were
don't-
all
Last
together?
Monday.
Monday. She
Yeah.
said, don't expect a text because I'm getting groceries.
Oh, I did say that. Wait, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, guys.
Oh, yeah.
My bad, guys.
Hey.
I was up all night like, God, I guess, I don't know if
At
Hazel
that
made it
point,
home
at
or
that
not.
point, just call me. To be honest.
Pierce and I literally were calling the National Guard.
No, because I get home and I unload, like if I have to pick up groceries or even just I get home, I get distracted with so many other things. Just call me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I know y'all weren't worried because y'all didn't call me.
Pierce and I were literally like, we gotta find her. We gotta get her.
Well, I didn't get a phone call or voicemail, so y'all apparently weren't that concerned.
I panicked and I threw my phone.
He said, what?
Just like that.
Yeah. I have a tough question for you guys real quick.
Oh boy.
Kind of bringing it back. Is faith still faith if it's never tested?
Yeah.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was fixing my headphones.
Is faith still faith if it's never tested?
I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I don't understand how it wouldn't be tested, but I would
Yeah.
still imagine if you, I would still imagine that it's faith. You know, it's just.
I don't know. I feel like it depends. Like you can have a faith. It won't be a strong one because it's not being tested. I feel like these feel weird on my head. Do they
Yeah.
look weird on my head?
They do not.
Okay, they
They
feel
look
weird. Sorry. But like it's just not proven. I feel like it could the reason why our faith is tested is so it continues. Because if you believe that you might believe that the earth is flat or you might believe that the earth is round. Without confirmation, your opinion can be very easily swayed. Right? Or if you can I'm trying to think of other examples of what people might have faith in. But if your idea of something,
I was thinking.
what were you thinking of?
Well, kind of like this. So let's say, I have faith God is there, but let's say I never get tested, right? And for 20 years, I just never get tested.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I get a test and I just lose it because it doesn't mean I don't have faith. It just means my faith is not strong, right? But it's like with sin now. Like I have the faith in God. I believe in Him. I trust Him. But even the Bible says it. With the faith of a mustard seed, you could tell the mountain to go into the sea and it would. Right.
What's really interesting about the mustard seed thing is it's not about the size.
Yeah.
It's a mustard. What a mustard seed does is it's an invasive root system.
Right.
So it goes everywhere.
Right. And it's just it should be pouring out of you every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is like I have faith now.
Mm-hmm.
And I get tested and I kind of go away. It's the faith that I have. So until I get tested, the faith is still there. And even after I get tested, the faith, I could fail the test, but I still have faith. I have faith that Jesus is coming back someday. I have faith that Jesus rose from the dead. I have the faith that He died for our sins. Mm-hmm. But does that mean that I live 100% the way that book right there tells me that I should live? No. I don't, because I fail those tests on the daily.
Yeah.
I think what makes if our faith is not tested, I think what happens is we get outside information that I mean, I think those are tests of faith too. I don't know if we can really go about through life without being tested in the grand scheme, like naturally. But because like we get information of like God's existence or the contrary to God's existence. If we have a weak faith or if we don't have faith at all, then we're going to take that information and accept it. Whereas if we have even a kernel of faith or even we hang on to the smallest truth that God is real, then we can navigate about this information, this new information that, oh, God isn't real. Well, what makes you say that God isn't real? Then we start asking questions.
Yeah.
If we base our life on even just the small amount of truth that God is real, or even the small amount of truth that God is a loving God, and then we go about the world through that lens, we can conquer so many different problems that we come across. Because if we start with the question of, well, why do you think so? What makes you say that?
Yeah.
What makes God not a loving God? When we start to pick apart the things that build up the contrary argument per se, then we can start to figure out maybe what's the world is thinking about this. Or then we start to think of where people are being fed lies about God. And so then we could start delivering them truths instead.
Yeah. Great question, though, Pierce. Great answer, Hazel.
What do you think, Pierce?
I forgot my own question. I'm not gonna lie.
Is faith
said-
still faith if you're not tested?
I believe so. I
Wow.
think it'd be hard to. It's hard to imagine a faith that's not tested. Like I feel like everybody's faith is tested a little bit. I mean, even Jesus's faith kind of. I mean, he was tempted by the devil in the desert, and
I got tested at 6 this morning.
yeah.
Well, my Keurig didn't work.
Oh,
No,
that's really sad.
How am I supposed to go about my day without coffee?
Did you get coffee today?
I did. I had to go to Starbucks.
You could just not drink coffee.
Dude, he wakes up at like 5 a.m.
How do you? I don't understand how you don't do it without coffee.
I don't like coffee.
Well, you do energy drink. He
You do
does the
energy
other-
drinks, so you still
Okay, no.
it's still the caffeine consumption.
I don't drink energy drink
What do you
Pierce
drink?
has got
on the regular.
Pierce has got 7 Alanis before 7 in the morning. How many Alanis you had today?
0.
How many Rebels?
0.
How many energy drinks total?
0.
Are you dead serious?
Yeah.
What time did you get up? 4:30.
I got up at 5:15.
What time did you go to bed last night?
About 10:30.
Yeah, I would have been asleep 2 hours ago.
Dang.
No, I literally I'm on
my
like
gosh.
yeah. I got stopped at Starbucks on the way before here.
What time did you go to bed last night?
Last night I went to bed probably around midnight. We had to clean up from that. My mom turned 60. Woo woo. Yeah, so we I had to tear down that party. So I probably went to bed about midnight. I got up at 6.
Okay, 6 is not as bad as 5.
No, it's not. Yeah,
Your
it's-
Keurig didn't work.
yeah, but I woke up and my Keurig wasn't working.
I'm surprised we didn't get a text, to be honest.
No, I thought about it. I literally sat down at my kitchen table and I was like, what do I do?
Pray for me.
What do I do at this moment?
Mm.
So I put my big boy pants on. I went to Starbucks.
What'd you get?
I got the just a white chocolate mocha.
Oh.
Gosh.
So why do you think that tested you?
We like for things to go our way. We do.
You like to be in a routine.
Yes, I am a schedule person.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to certain things, my mornings, I have a routine.
Mm-hmm.
When I get out of that routine, it's like, oh no, and then I get into a negative mind frame, right? But it's like, I put Who Else Is Worthy on when I got in the truck, so I calmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I got my Starbucks, and I was like, yay. But no, we like to be in things to go our way. We like to be in control. We like to, hey, like, why did this not go my way today? We don't, realize that, hey, I could have, like, got my coffee rather than sit at the table for 5 minutes and think about what to do. I could have left 5 minutes earlier and could have gotten into an accident. He could have, you never know what
Yeah.
could have happened. You never know what could have transpired from that.
Mm-hmm.
He has a plan, and I have to trust in his plan.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean I always trust in his plan.
Well, because our perspective is linear.
Yeah,
We see what we see. We don't
yeah.
even like
we got
can't-
blinders on for sure.
that too. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have like almost like glasses that we just have glasses that don't work. We can only our prescriptions don't work 99.9% of the time.
Stay.
We have glasses. Our eyesight's so bad, and
Yeah.
we haven't gone to the eye doctor, and so our
Literally
prescription
and
is like
metaphorically.
no, you too. This applies to you too. I promise. So our prescription
I have contacts.
is so
I see.
blurry. This is a metaphor, Pierce.
I mean, I have contacts, so I do
No,
have
it's just
blurry
like
vision.
okay. Are you near or farsighted?
I'm nearsighted because I can't see things far away.
Are you near or farsighted?
I'm
Snyder?
near.
Okay, so imagine that you're nearsighted so bad you can't see an inch in front of your face. That's, I think, how we live. Okay, but God, He has perfect vision, 20/20 vision, if you will. He can see everything all around us. He can see past, present, and future.
Yeah. I mean,
So why would we trust ourselves when we are blind?
I think what's crazy about humans is literally what you just said is like we believe that book. We know that he's in control. We know that he has it, and we know that if we follow him, our steps are going to be safe, and they're going to be perfect, and it's going to lead us straight to him. But yet, when we get tested, like what you were saying with faith, it's like, oh no, I don't like this. I can't stand this, right? And it's like I'm 30. I've been trusting him, and it's like I still every single day. It's like, oh, I know I shouldn't be doing this. When you look at like drug addicts or alcoholics or people that are addicted to porn, it's like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know I shouldn't. But we still stumble because we choose to love him and tell people we are, but we choose to not obey his commands.
It's not even some things that we would call that like that extreme. It's like, well, I know that I know I shouldn't gossip.
Be negative.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I feel like our emotions aren't bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like there is room for our emotions.
Yeah.
There's just consequences when we act in our emotions.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, it'd be hard to be positive at a funeral, but, but gossiping is, and that's, I feel like in our society, that's so huge.
It's normalized.
Yeah, we are called to gossip for sure.
Yeah. Who do you guys think showed more faith in this story, Abraham or Isaac?
Both
Dude,
was a pretty
yeah,
substantial
both
faith.
of them, but hear me out. I have a hot take.
Okay.
Isaac,
Mm.
dude, cause just hold on. Right, I'm 30. I still got a little juice in me.
Dang.
Right, I still got a little juice in me. If I see you with a knife and I'm looking around, I'm like, ain't no sacrifice. One, I'm already gonna be on edge. But two, when I see you with the knife and like you're coming at me, I'm gonna be like, I'm out of here. I'm gone. This is it. Like, he was willing. Abraham showed emotion. He was sad. It doesn't say if Isaac was.
It doesn't give us emotion. It doesn't even say like anything about what Abraham's feeling. It just says, "Oh, hey, the fire and the wood are here, but where's the lamb?"
Right. Dude's questioning it. Like what that.
He's confused.
Yeah. What I take from that is like, come on now.
He's like, where's it at?
And he was willing to be that living sacrifice.
I mean, yeah, because if you're 100 years old, and granted, people lived a lot longer.
Yeah.
And so if you're walking that far, you had to have, obviously he was healthier.
Yeah.
So, but I still feel like, I don't know if he would have been able to just wrestle Isaac and tie him up. I don't think he would have been able to do that. So Isaac had to have been willing. He had to have trusted not just Abraham, but in God as well.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, well, because I'm sure that I feel like at some point Abraham would have told him that this, like, not just like if he's about to tie him up and be like, "Whoa, Dad, what are you doing? What is happening?"
Yeah.
And then Abraham's like, "God told me to do this.
Just trust me.
Just trust."
Yeah. Just trust.
So I feel like at some point Isaac had to know that God was involved in all of this.
Yeah. And so I think the willingness, because Abraham's 100. Isaac's late teens, around early 20s.
So yeah.
Yeah. Abraham's old. He's kind of lived his youthfulness. Isaac still had plenty of the youthfulness to go. So,
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. I don't know which one of you asked that, but that's a great
What
question.
do you think?
I still think Abraham. I just
Mhm.
the willingness to take the thing you love the most and undoubtedly sacrifice it for God just because you love God that much. It's just incredible to me, at least. But yeah,
One to live, one to die for him. That's just both of them. That's incredible.
What is the difference between a promise and a covenant?
Mm.
hmm.
To me, a covenant's a little more sacred, a little more formal.
Mhm.
A covenant, like I think of when you say covenant, I think of like marriage.
Mhm.
Like this is God is now viewing you as one flesh, right?
Yeah.
This is a covenant is more so like with God at the center of it, maybe.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. It's like, okay, this is I'm doing this. Whereas I feel like a promise is more from like pierce to eye or me to you type thing, and it's I could promise Pierce and be like, "Are you gonna go to the movies with me next Tuesday?" Be like, "Yeah, I promise." Where
So
it's like,
you're making a commitment.
yeah, I'm not making a covenant. I'm not slicing my hand. Be like, all right, here, we're in blood now.
Mhm.
Like a covenant. I just feel like is one of those. It's like I will do this. Like I took a covenant with Alana. I will love her and be by her side through sickness and health
Mhm.
to the day either I die or to the day she dies.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, I would think like a promise. You said so a covenant, like with marriage, it's usually about two people,
Yeah.
and I think usually a promise is about like a one-on-one
Right.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like when did God make a promise or a covenant with the rainbow
He made a covenant.
Yeah.
covenant? Okay.
I think, and don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but I think anytime that it's like, actually, it's not every time that God like mentions and makes a commitment, but some of the major ones, especially early on here, has been a covenant. He made a covenant with Noah that he was never going to, like the rainbow was the sign of that covenant. He made a covenant with Abraham in the beginning when he called him that his descendants would become a nation.
Mhm,
And then he made another covenant, I mean the covenant of the circumcision. And then he just, and then throughout the Israelites, they renew and remake the covenant so many times.
Yeah. That's kind of what I meant. So like God and another party are making a
Mhm.
covenant. Whereas if I was to do a promise, I'll be there. And that's just more like a one-sided thing. You know what I mean? Like we promised Kylie we'd be at her soccer game tomorrow.
Yeah, I meant to text you about that. The Concord one?
Mm-hmm.
Or is they playing Northwest?
They're playing at Northwest.
At Northwest?
Mm-hmm.
So you would say a covenant would be more of a binding sacred agreement, and then a promise is a commitment.
Yeah.
Like just like a
Yeah, from what I'm seeing in the Bible, he's got 5 foundational covenants: Noah, Abraham, Moses, David, and the new covenant.
yeah, that's the one when Christ died.
Yeah, while others highlight 7 or 8. I don't know. The Bible, what it's calling is 5. Where's it at? Genesis 1 through 3, covenant of mankind's role in the promise of redemption after the fall. Noah's God's promise never to destroy the earth with a flood again. Abraham, promise of land, descendants, and blessings to all. Moses, the law given to Israel at Sinai.
Mm-hmm.
Land covenant, promise of land of Canaan to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
David is promise that David's descendant will rule an everlasting kingdom, and then the new covenant established through Jesus, focusing on forgiveness, transformation of the heart.
Yeah. Merriam-Webster has a promise as a declaration that one will do or refrain from doing something specified, or is like an expectation that you're going to accomplish something, whereas a covenant is a formal, solemn, binding agreement. Why do you think that God made a covenant with Abraham instead of just a promise? Because I think God has made other promises throughout our records of the Bible, but he hasn't made a covenant with them every single time. Why do you think that God would make a covenant with Abraham instead of just promising?
I think a covenant is also everlasting.
Mhm.
I think, when you think of like people that died even 200 years ago, it's like when you say someone, it's like, oh, and he was married to such and such. When you're going through history,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's, you see, even in the Bible, wife of, son of, like there's a covenant kind of between them, and I feel like a covenant is everlasting. Where Pierce is right, a promise is more one side. At least when you're thinking about us, it's more one side. Like it dies with, if I made a promise to Pierce and I die, I guess that's that. But if Alana and I were, we were still in a covenant,
Mm-hmm.
whether one of us passes away or not. I think a covenant is everlasting almost. And if you go by this, a covenant is everlasting because all 5 of these are good to the end of time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I really don't know. I mean,
It's okay.
You could just say retweet.
yeah, I mean, everything y'all said, I
Yeah.
agree with. I mean, just from what I looked up here, a promise is like a way of saying I will do this, and a
Mhm.
covenant is saying we are entering a binding relationship with
Mhm.
commitments. So a covenant is basically like a formal, sacred promise.
Yeah, I agree. I have one more question. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're good.
Do you think that we ever love a promise or an idea that might even be from God, but do we ever love it more than God?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think so either.
I think we might think it comes from God, but it's from the devil, and then we like it even more. Like especially if it's greedful,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's
Yeah, because the only promises I can think, right now that I'm thinking that God, I mean, is the promise of everlasting life. You
Right.
you
Mhm.
give your life to Him. The promise that if I put my faith in Him and that I trust Him, my paths are gonna be directed.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're saying if it's from God, then it's still directed towards God.
Right. Whereas, like if the promise of I mean, God's not sitting here promising me that I'm going to be a millionaire,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, if I follow him and it happens, I feel like True as Kathy. If you guys have never read the book on that, read it. It's phenomenal. He's a multimillionaire. He's the founder of Chick-fil-A, but he kept God at the center. God was the focus. Like, and I feel like if that was to come and take it away, I don't feel like that's of God, right? That's just kind of the way I look at it.
So you don't think that God would take away something that He's given?
Oh no, I definitely think He would take it away if he's
Mhm.
yeah. If it takes you away from Him, I think He would. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think He would do
If
it?
you-
Like, what if God had told, like, did not stop Abraham, but He gave Isaac to Abraham? What do you think? Like,
I think Abraham. If God didn't stop him, I think Isaac was done.
yeah, what do you think? Because, like, God gave Isaac to Abraham, so
I think he'd have started over. I think he'd have given him another child, or raised him from the dead. I don't know, like resurrection, like what Abraham believed. I do. I believe that, and I do wholeheartedly believe that God can give you things for a season,
mm-hmm.
but take it away in other seasons.
Why do you think He does that?
For numerous reasons, but one of the ones I can think of that come to mind is you stray from the path. Let's just say, I hate to keep bringing up money, but let's say God bless you with financial fortune, and you give it away, and you tithe it, and you help people, and you give it to a mission field, and you give it to a food pantry, or people, and you're out there speaking love, and then somewhere along the lines, you lose, or along the road, you lose sight. And now it's all about me, and it's all about greed. And you're not praying, and you're not walking with Him more. And you're not asking Him, what should I do with this? Lord, this is your money. How do I do it? You stop doing that. Yeah, I do feel, the Lord could take that away to say, hey, I need to bring you back to me. I need you to come back to me. I think that's one of the reasons He could do it. I think another reason is he could put you, he's just trying to put you somewhere else so that you can help build his kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
If you look all throughout the Old Testament, this person's got to go here and
Yeah.
here and here and here. And he's relocating and he's moving all these people because these people need help. This person needs a prophet. This person needs someone to preach the goodness. This person needs to these people need to hear my name.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I think, a lot of times he'll move you to build the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what, a couple of the reasons. I'm sure there's more, but just 2 reasons off the top of the head.
Yeah. What do you think that means for the crucifixion? Like, so I mean, he stopped the sacrifice of Isaac, but he didn't stop the sacrifice of Jesus. What do you think that means for the crucifixion?
All the more.
Yeah.
Jesus rose from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We serve a living God. I love saying that. We serve a living God.
Mm-hmm.
My God, I love saying this. I learned this when I was in middle school. My God beat the devil with a big ugly stick. He did. He beat it.
My
And so-
favorite imagery is when it says, I think in John, either Luke or John, but it says that when Christ died, he went down to Hades and he took the keys of Hades and he took back everyone who had died. Because before Christ died on the cross, there was no
paradise, or what was it?
there was no access to heaven at all.
Yeah.
They all went. From my understanding, now I could be wrong because I haven't in depth researched this, so I could be wrong. But from my understanding, from what I've read, because if Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, there was no access to
Right.
heaven at that
Yeah.
point. So everyone would have gone. I guess they called it Hades. I don't know if it would have
Yeah.
technically been like the pits of fire of hell that is referenced in Revelation, but they were not in heaven. They were not with God.
Yeah, we need to do research on that. Yeah, because I knew they definitely didn't go somewhere, but I'm unfamiliar with the place it was.
Yeah, I'm
again.
not sure.
Yeah, we need
So
to
I'm
look
curious, like with like Gideon and that other prophet, I forget his name.
Elijah?
That was called up by God. Like,
Yeah, there's Elijah.
yeah, like were they not called up to heaven, or?
So yeah, I think they were, and I think it's.
I think Elijah, he was directly they couldn't find his body, right?
Yeah.
Like he was just.
Well, I think in the book of Revelation, and I think we've talked about this a couple times, that the 2 prophets that come back is Elijah and Moses.
Yeah, they come
Yeah.
back for a period of time.
Yeah,
And then they die, and then their bodies are left in the
streets for like
Like-
3 days.
Like they're martyred, they're killed.
yeah,
Humanity kills them.
yeah. So I think Elijah actually comes back and finally dies, I guess, per se.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of I think the theologic uncertainty, but we know it happened, but the details of it, it's a little murky.
A little unclear.
But the imagery of just Jesus, he's defeating death, he's defeating the devil, he's coming back and rescuing everyone who died before and finally bringing them back up to heaven because they didn't have access to him before,
Yeah.
but now they do.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm telling you, and I think to go off of that question, Abraham's faith, I believe it. I believe if Isaac had been sacrificed by Abraham, God would have brought him back. But I don't. Why, I don't know. This is going to be a question I ask him, in heaven someday. But it means all the more that God brought Jesus back
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
in the crucifixion.
Yeah.
The most powerful moment in human history.
Yep.
Living God, baby.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
You have any more questions?
I actually have quite a few, but we would be here for a while. So
Well, this one has been fun.
I actually I had application.
No, you're good.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'd apply it.
Yeah.
Apply it. Why do we always forget that?
I don't know.
So we've been talking about the importance of sacrifice and how Abraham was called to lay down something that was given to him that he valued so greatly by God. It was given to him by God, and then God himself called to sacrifice that very thing. So he's coming up this mountain and he's having this thought, just like the song, but like the song Even If by Mercy Me and the song Isaac by Madeline Ray. It's this mentality of, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm trusting you because I trust that whatever you're going to choose, whether you do end up resurrecting my son that you gave to me, or this is a sacrifice to you, it's going to be okay. I'm trusting you regardless. Whatever season that anyone listening might be in your life, whether you are, whatever you might be struggling with, or going through, give the control of the situation over to God. And this is so hard because we naturally, as human beings, we want to control the situation. And some people have control issues where, like, physically, like, it's hard to give over like a project or an assignment over to someone. Just imagine the amount of control issues that we have giving something over to someone we can't even see. But the reality of the matter is God is above our situation. He sees it so much clearly than we ever could. And we talked about that a little bit. He has our best interest in mind. He created the world. He created everything in it. And he put his only one and only son on the line for our lives. So that is such a tremendous display of love. Why wouldn't we trust him with our own lives? There's a few verses that I want to read real quick, and I would invite anyone listening to pray over these, because I think that they're a good reminder of.
What do you got?
Psalm 37, 3-6. I have 3, so each one of us could read them.
Okay.
Psalm 37, 3-6.
Let me do them.
Psalm 115, 11. And then Proverbs 3, 5-6. Which one do you want to do, Pierce?
Proverbs.
Okay.
5-6. What was it?
Yeah, 5-6. Proverbs 3, 5-6.
You may just read my arm. Oh, that's my favorite verse.
I need.
Wait, switch with me. You do Psalm 37. No, never mind. Because
I'll do Psalm 37.
All right, you got
Psalm
it?
37 what?
Psalm 37, 3-6.
3-6.
Yes, I'm doing Psalm 115.
Thanks for that.
Okay.
So this psalm is titled Of David.
Mm-hmm.
And it says here in verse 3, trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way of the Lord. Trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your righteous reward shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun.
All right.
David said it beautifully.
I have Psalm 115, 11. You who fear him trust in the Lord. He is their help and shield.
Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. This is my favorite verse of all time. I love this. I have it tattooed on my body. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways. Hang on. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean on. Now you got me messed up.
You got it.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's so many different verses that talk about trusting in the Lord. Jesus talks about it later on in his Sermon on the Mount, where he says, he's mainly talking about do not worry, but worry and trust tie in directly. Because I feel like if you're trusting in someone, you're feeling safe. And if you feel safe, you're worrying less. And sometimes it's really hard to trust in someone when you can't physically talk to them, or like it feels like you can't physically talk to them. But I would really greatly encourage our listeners to pray over these, read these verses, pray over them, and even go to Matthew 6:26, because that's a really good one too.
Was it Matthew 5-7 is the Sermon on the Mount?
I think so, yeah.
To me, that's the greatest passage in the
Yeah.
Bible. I think you should just read Matthew 5-7.
But giving control to God for the situation, even if you don't know what's going to happen in the situation that you're dealing with, God has a plan to work it out. It may not be the most ideal situation that you're in. It might not even, what you're going through might be super difficult, and God doesn't want you to go through that difficult trial, but he can make something super great out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, we still have, what did we say we were going to do, 4 weeks of the Sunday school throwback?
I don't remember there actually being like a
I don't
time
remember putting
period.
I don't remember they're putting a period of time on it.
I would
but
like to do.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I'd like to do a Sermon on the Mount one eventually. I think that'd
Yeah.
be great. So
Yeah.
Well, dude, this one was fun. I like
Yeah.
this one. Little AI, little Abraham Isaac action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was really
Pierce,
good.
great questions.
Thank you.
Hazel, great insight.
You too.
Thanks, buddy.
Sorry, that was like.
I'll give you one.
I wanted a fist
You guys
bump.
mind if I pray us out?
Yeah, dude, go for it. Go for it. Oh, by the way, Pierce ate 2 Uncrustables. He had 2.
No, he
of 'em.
didn't.
He had 2 of 'em.
Don't listen to
They're
this.
so good. Anyway, let me take my hat off. There we go. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the story of Abraham and Isaac, Lord. Thank you so much for their example of faith. Help us to have faith in you even when we don't understand what's happening. Remind us that you see the bigger picture and you always provide what we need. Help us to live with courage and trust in you every day, Lord. And just continue to bless us, Lord, and help us to continually praise your name from the mountaintops. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.